Coming up on WMLT News, a nurse in Texas is the first to contract Ebola in the United States.
And homecoming went off without a hitch. All this and more starts right now.
Hello and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Dalton Boggs.
And I'm Patrice Mitchell. According to the World Health Organization, West Africa could face up to 10,000 new Ebola cases every week within the next 2 months. They have also warned that the death rate has risen to 70% in the current outbreak. The WHO's health workers have been hit hard by the recent outbreak. An estimated 16% of the Doctors Without Borders have contracted the disease while working there, and 9 of them have died. For the last month in West Africa, there have been roughly 1,000 new Ebola cases every week. Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Liberia have been hit the hardest. A Texas nurse has been the first to contract Ebola in the United States. 26-year-old Nina Pham was treating Thomas Eric Duncan, the patient at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, who had come to the United States to visit family when he came down with symptoms of the disease. The Liberian man died October 8th, and Pham was admitted herself to the hospital that Friday with a fever. Pham is said to be doing well. A man who beat the disease donated plasma to her, hoping to help get her well. Once someone has contracted Ebola and been cured of it, much like the chickenpox, they are immune to ever catching it again.
A West Virginia man that has been accused of stalking a 13-year-old terminally ill girl in Wisconsin has been sentenced to 18 months in prison. Court records say that 30-year-old Shannon Cole Bailey was also ordered to serve an additional 2 years on extended supervision, submit to a mental assessment, and move out of the state of Wisconsin when he is released. According to the complaint, Bailey told authorities that he sold all of his possessions and moved from West Virginia in order to be closer to the girl. Bailey first contacted the girl in late 2012 as part of a wellness blog that was set up by the girl's parents on Facebook. He was blocked from contacting the account, but continued to send messages to the family to check up on the girl. He then showed up at the family's church in Wisconsin in the spring of 2013. He has also shown up at the hospital where the girl was being treated for liver disease. Bailey has entered an Alford plea of no contest, meaning that he does not admit guilt, but agrees the prosecution has enough evidence to get him convicted.
5 teenage boys were charged with dumping a bucket of urine, water, and tobacco spit on an autistic 15-year-old boy who thought that he was participating in the Ice Bucket Challenge for charity. 3 of the teens are now facing juvenile charges of delinquency, assault, and disorderly conduct. All of the teens are from Bay Village, close to Cleveland, and attend Bay High School. The prank occurred on August 18th at one of the suspects' homes. According to the authorities, it was reported to police on September 3rd after the victim's mother found a video of the incident on her son's cell phone. The attorney for the victim, Dean Valor, said, quote, "The teen was scarred by the incident but is doing better thanks to the support that he has received," end quote. It's been noted that the friends have done distasteful pranks to each other in the past, but the fake ice bucket is a completely different matter.
Stay tuned. There will be more WMLT after the break. Welcome back. Last week, Concord University celebrated its annual homecoming football game with a week packed full of fun, festivities, and friendly rivalry. Student Activities Director Andrew Suljet coordinated events that included a trivia game show, a mentalist performer, and many creative events that allowed students to show their school spirit. Along with these events, the university also upheld the traditions of the community parade, picnic in the valley, bonfire, and the Greek organizations battled it out once again in lip sync, which we will tell you more about later in the broadcast.
funding a lot of them.
This is for everyone that's 21 and older that has a purse and a $10 bill. They have a beer garden. We have a beer garden. We've grown up this year. 2014 beer garden in the
On record, fire eater. Don't try to home. Give it up, Concord. Homecoming has just begun.
Sigma Phi. First place, International
Now here's Jesse Stevens with this week's Take It or Leave It.
Thanks, guys. If you're looking for a heartfelt family movie, Disney's $1 Million Arm is a great option. This movie is based on the true story of sports agent J.B. Bernstein and his struggle to make a living in a ruthless economy. J.B.'s agency had worked with countless major clients over the years, managing the assets of tons of sports superstars. But as finances got tight, so did the agency's list of clients. After a heartbreaking rejection by a big-name athlete, JB comes up with a scheme of traveling to India to recruit cricket players as baseball pitchers. He sets up a competition called the $1 Million Arm. Winner takes home $1 million. But the real prize is that first and second place winners travel to America to learn the game of baseball and ideally become professional pitchers. Now, obviously, things don't go exactly as planned. It isn't easy for the winners of the competition to adjust to a brand new culture and sport right away, but the adventures that follow are incredibly exciting. In addition to the wonderful storyline, $1 Million Arm features excellent acting, starring John Hamm, Lake Bell, Suraj Sharma, Madhur Mittal, and others. These actors put on an incredible performance. Every member of the cast proves to be a well-rounded and talented performer. $1 Million Arm scores 4 out of 5 stubs. It's the perfect movie for every sports fan, but even if you're not into sports, it's still a great family film. It was recently released on DVD and Blu-ray, so now is the perfect time to pick up this must-see movie. And that's all for this week's Take It or Leave It. I'm Jesse Stevens. Thanks for watching.
Now with the Arcadian Game Review, here's Dalton Boggs.
Thanks, guys. Today on Arcadian Reviews, I'll be filling you in on the newest addition to the 3DS's line of games, Super Smash Bros. 4. Not only is this the first Smash Bros. Game to ever be handheld, but it has also blown our expectations for the game out of the water. Being the 4th game in the series, many die-hard Smash fans have been around the block a few times and know what's up. But for the newcomers, here's the deal. The goal of the game is to fight through many beloved Nintendo icons and knock them out of the ring. The more damage you cause, the higher their percentage goes up, and the higher their percentage goes up, the farther they fly when you knock them out of the ring. There are several game modes in Smash Bros. 4, including a target smash game, a home run contest where you see how far you can send a sandbag flying, and something called Multi-Man Melee, where you try and fight off as many opponents as you can before you're knocked out. There is also a classic mode, where you make your way through a slew of fighters to take on an entity known as the Master Hand. In classic mode, you can raise the stakes by increasing the difficulty, which helps you unlock characters and get better rewards. You can also customize both pre-listed fighters such as Link or Mario, or use your Mii, your personal 3DS avatar. It also has multiplayer modes. However, the game lacks stable online play, working off of a player-to-player connection instead of a dedicated server. So if one person in the game is lagging, everyone is lagging. Overall though, the game is a barrel of fun, with many different modes playing, and despite the internet issues, the ability to play with friends from all over the world. This game gets 4 controllers out of 5 based on fun, replayability, and its downsides. Thank you for watching, guys. This is Dalton Boggs logging off. Now with sports, here's Brad Sullivan.
Thanks, guys. Concord University's football team beat Urbana this weekend 50-20 to cap off their homecoming week. Concord was led by junior running back Calvin All Jones, who ran the ball 13 times for 106 yards and a touchdown. Mount Lions also got help from quarterback Brian Novak, who threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. The homecoming victory now has the Mount Lions ranked 21st in the nation. In other college football news, Mississippi State beat Auburn 38-23. With the win, Mississippi State takes over the #1 ranking in the country. The former #1 team, Florida State, beat Syracuse 38-20. In other top 25 news, Baylor beat TCU in a shootout 61-58. Alabama barely escaped with a victory over Arkansas 14-13, and Ole Miss continues to stay hot, beating Texas A&M 35-20. Also in college news, Georgia running back and Heisman Trophy candidate Todd Gurley was suspended indefinitely. Gurley, who violated NCAA rules, was believed to have signed numerous items, including footballs, helmets, and game-worn jerseys for various amounts of cash. He was suspended this past week, but is believed he will play this upcoming week. Now to the NFL. The Carolina Panthers and Cincinnati Bengals tied 37-37. This is the first tie since the NFL changed its overtime rules last year. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 48-17, with Joe Flacco throwing 5 touchdown passes in the first half. In the upset of the week, the Cleveland Browns beat the Steelers with a 31-10 victory. In the game of the week, the Cowboys beat the Seahawks 30-23. And on Sunday Night Football, the Giants lost to the Eagles 27-0. That, however, wasn't the only loss for the Giants. Star wide receiver Victor Cruz was carted off the field with a ruptured patellar tendon in his right knee. Cruz is set to have surgery and is out for the year. Cruz was not the only big name to go down this week. NBA superstar and last year's league MVP Kevin Durant is out 6 to 8 weeks. Durant has a fracture in his right foot that will require surgery. In baseball news, after the Royals took the first 2 games for a 2-0 series lead against the Orioles in Baltimore, the series goes to Kansas City to see if the Orioles can extend the series. The St. Louis Cardinals and San Francisco Giants are tied 1-1 in their series. In Game 2 of the series, Cardinals all-star catcher Yadier Molina came out of the game with a strained left oblique. It is unclear whether he will play in the upcoming games, but the Cardinals did elect to keep him on the active roster. That's all for sports. I'm Brad Sullivan. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's it for WMLT News this week. I'm Dalton Boggs.
And I'm Patrice Mitchell, and we're capping off this homecoming week with some footage from Lip Sync. We'll be back in 2 weeks.